I have had a lot of paranormal experiences in my life that I really don't have explanations for. Sometimes I'll tell a story and people will be like, oh, it's this mundane thing, or oh, it was that supernatural thing. But there's one thing that happened to me when I was a kid in the 90s that has always sat really weird with me, and nobody's ever been able to give me an explanation. So I kind of want to crowdsource it and see if you guys can tell me anything that I haven't already thought of or know. By the way, I'm McGann. I don't normally do videos like this. I do geek style videos, so bear with me if you're a normal subscriber and this is not your cup of tea. So, okay, let's go back to the 90s. This would be mid to late 1994, and I know this because it involves a picture from The Lion King. So here's the house I grew up in. I just stole this picture off of Zillow. I don't really have a great one anymore. It did not look this haunted when my family lived here, but it has been abandoned and it's decaying, so this is what we have now. Over here you will notice concrete stairs that go to nothing. There was a house next to us when we moved in. I remember it. And I remember seeing the guy come out of it one time when I was playing on the front porch. But then the guy never came back, and eventually the city came with a wrecking ball and tore the house down. It was a whole weird thing. I don't know why they didn't sell it. I don't know what was wrong. I was a little kid. But this was a huge house. I had so many weird events happen in this house. As you can see, it's kind of up on a hill, so I don't know, take that to mean what you will. But up here was my room. And just to hopefully give you guys a little bit of context here, this was the first floor. We have the front door here, all these little weird half arrow shapes or doors. Sorry, I'm not a great architect design person. And it was basically a big square. We had the kitchen, pantry, back door, little bathroom here, big dining room, pretty big living room. And then we had a basement that went down and stairs that went up. And then they do a 90-degree thing and lead up here to the second floor where we had the hallway. We had, well, there was a door right here. I didn't draw it, but upstairs went to the attic, which was unfinished. We also had an unfinished basement that was full-sized. Little closet here. This was kind of a guest room, playroom, storage room thing. My parents' room, my room, and then my dad had an office right here. So I'm not quite sure how to illustrate this. At the time, in 1994, I had bunk beds. One of them was about right here. The other was about right here. I had shelves on the wall here. I had a little closet with TV over here. Actually, there was like a dent in my room like this because this would have been the closet and this would have been where the fireplace went through my room and to the roof. And so one night I'm asleep in my bed. I know I'm in elementary school, 4th, maybe 5th grade at this point, and I have these 3 pictures on the wall. And actually I still have these 3 pictures, as you can see from this photograph I just took today. They're in a little worse shape than they used to be, of course, but I had a strawberry shortcake picture on the wall, a Lion King. This one is in a glass frame. It's the only one that's in a glass frame. And then Beauty and the Beast, which the more I think about it, the more I think it's a knockoff thing because Belle's color scheme is way wrong on her dress, and Lumiere's candle isn't lit. And I honestly remember getting this sheet from the movie theater that had like spot the differences between these 2 Beauty and the Beast pictures, and this was the one that had the differences in it. And the correct one had Belle in the correct colors, had the rose here, had Lumiere's candle lit. So it's always been odd to me, and I kind of think that this is counterfeit because of it, because I don't think Disney would have not put quality control on this or put Disney's Beauty and the Beast up here, but whole different side tangent there. And if I remember correctly, they were on my wall next to my bed, staggered, kind of like steps, but not touching each other in any way. So there was the Lion King that was the highest, Beauty and the Beast that was a step below, and then Strawberry Shortcake that was a little lower than that because none of these are the same size, so trying to put them side by side would not look right. And my OCD as a child knew that. And just for context, if you are not keeping up, we are talking about this wall right here. That's where they were hanging. In particular, it would have been like that roughly where they were hanging up. So we're in the middle of the night. I'm dead asleep. I don't know exactly what time it is, but I know it's so late that my parents are asleep because they usually had to get up at 4 a.m. to go to work and, you know, all that jazz. So my parents are off in their room, which their bed is like in the middle of the room like that. And nobody is in the office, but my father's desks would have been like that and like that. So there is absolutely nothing touching this wall. I believe it was a cork board and a dartboard on the wall right here. And so middle of the night, I remember just waking up as it was happening because I was awake enough to watch it happen, where all of a sudden my eyes are open enough and I hear drop, drop, drop. All three of those pictures, and only those specific pictures. I had stuff hanging up all over the room. I had posters, I had framed art, all kinds of stuff all over the room. I even had something above the door here framed and hung up that did not fall. But down went Lion King, down went Beauty and the Beast, down went Strawberry Shortcake frames in this very rhythmic motion. And my head was about right here, and I'm looking at it happen. And as soon as all three of them fall, they all sort of fold into each other so that they're stacked sideways, basically just like this picture here. And again, they were far enough apart, they were not touching. One falling shouldn't have affected the other, but how they all fell straight down because I watched them do it and then seemed to move and fold into each other like this has always freaked me out. It has always unsettled me. I have never found an explanation for why this happened or what what could have done it. I know it wasn't me having like a mental thing. This isn't like, oh, this is a sign that you have such and such disorder, because it physically happened in front of me. I watched it. I was completely terrified. And let me tell you, I had those covers up to my neck, like my eyes were exposed, but I was terrified to move. I did not want to move. And when the sun came back out and, I got my lights on the next day, it was still like this. And so I'm just curious, has anybody else had something similar to this happen? Have you heard of any entity that does this kind of thing? Any ideas on what this could have been? Because if 3 pieces of art fell off the wall, it would be weird. But the fact that they fell and then they rotated and stacked up sideways into each other is just, it's way too much. And it has always sat badly with me. And sometimes when it crosses my head, I can't get it out. I'm so freaked out by it. And out of all the weird paranormal stories I have, I've never had anybody be able to give me any idea of what happened here. And just to take another peek at the house, it was up high, so if like a big truck went by, yeah, maybe, but nothing was knocked down on any of the lower floors. Nothing was knocked over in my dad's office. Nothing was disrupted, but these 3 pictures that were again on the wall right around here. And here would be the front window. It would make more sense to me if a big truck or something went by and they were around here that they fell. But to fall from this space and nothing here fell, that doesn't feel typical. That doesn't feel normal. That feels like something weird was going on. And especially because something caused me to wake up right before it happened. It's always been this freaky feeling I've had, and I don't know what to make of it. I would love it if people could comment and give me ideas, because I would love to get some kind of mental grip around this situation 30 years later. Anyways, thanks for giving me your time today. If again you have any suggestions for what this could be, I am so open. I've not been able to ever figure this out. Nobody else ever has. I don't think I would ever qualify as like a medium. I've had people tell me though, you might be really sensitive to spirits to where you can see and hear them in ways that most other people don't. And yeah, I've got so many other stories, but a lot of them we can go, oh, this was this thing or this was that thing. This one I cannot place. Thanks for your help.